Hi friends, hope you are doing well. I'm Dr. Ganguly. Welcome to my channel. So today we are going to discuss the direct PhD and we are going to talk about some negative points about doing a direct PhD from your bachelor's degree to the PhD while skipping the master's degree. Now it's happened in many countries and many universities that it's being encouraged that bachelor's degree students directly go for the PhD degree. And so what happens is that they don't get the master's degree in the process. Now there used to be a degree known as the MPhil degree, which many students used to do. It was like a mini PhD degree, and they would do a master's degree and write a thesis. But unfortunately, this degree is also being discouraged in most countries. So let's look at some of the problems you can have if you do a direct PhD, and then you can decide about it. So I'm going to discuss 5 points today which are going to inform you on this topic. Now, number 1 point is that you will have no master's degree, and this can become a problem in some cases because later if you apply to faculty positions or even industry jobs, there are conservative people in the selection committee who like to see the typical bachelor, master, PhD type of growth in a person. And one of the reasons for this is that many people believe that you should first become broad and then you should become deep. So what happens is that there is a line of thinking that the bachelor's degree is insufficient to get enough knowledge in a particular field. Say you are studying mechanical engineering, you may take a number of courses, but the first year and second year in a mechanical engineering degree are often spent in studying physics, chemistry, math, psychology, economics, and all these courses. So you often get only 2 years of deep study in any discipline, and so what happens that a course-based master's is very useful in further strengthening your knowledge. Now in a direct PhD you do take some courses, but you do not get the complete weight of doing a master's degree and then a PhD degree, because in that case the person ends up doing a large amount of courses in many cases. So that is the depth first, or rather breadth first and then depth strategy. Now one of the reasons for this thinking is that in many cases you may have to do teaching jobs, and so when most universities look at positions, they are looking at what are the subjects you could teach. So maybe there are certain courses missing in your bachelor's degree curriculum, or certain courses you may have to teach to the master's degree student at the university, and so it's always useful if you have taken those courses at the master's level also. So this is something which you may come to you later in life. Finally, some selection committee members of academic jobs believe in this marinating philosophy that you should first do a bachelor's degree, then do a master's degree, then do a PhD degree. So it's harder to convince them if you have a direct PhD. Now the second issue is more psychological, and that is demotivation. Now whenever you go to the university as a direct PhD student, you are going to feel very elated, very happy that you have got this admission, but immediately you are going to encounter master's degree students doing MTech, MS degrees and so on, who are going to tell you that you have made the biggest mistake in your life, that you are now stuck doing the PhD degree, which is not of great value, and you should have done the master's degree and obtained a reasonable or high paying job in the industry somewhere else. So these guys of course have already made their mind that they are simply there to do the master's degree, improve their knowledge, improve the rank of the institution on their resume, and then get a better job. And one of the problems is you are going to be interacting with these students because you just have a PhD degree, and you are going to be more friendly with the guys in your same age group. Now if you try to interact with the typical PhD students, they are going to be senior to you. They are guys who have already done master's degree from somewhere else, and so they are going to be slightly aloof. And so you have to keep in mind that you have enough personal self desire or motivation to go through this process, and you do not get demotivated by all the things that these master's degree students tell you. So one of the important things is to make sure that you know why you are doing the PhD, and if you have any doubts about this process, look at some of the videos I have made. I'm going to put the video in the end screen about what are the good reasons to do the PhD and what are the bad reasons to do the PhD. Now the next issue is that you may want to change your topic, and this happens to people in many cases. You get the admission into the PhD program. Maybe if you are in computer science, you get admission and you have to work on compilers. maybe you have to design a new Fortran compiler and you really don't like this topic, you want to work in deep learning, and it's very hard to change if your advisor is already decided on this particular problem. So you know all the perils of telling your supervisor that you don't like the topic and so on. So this is something which can happen to you. If you were to do a master's degree and then do a PhD, you would probably be more sure about the research projects you want to get in, and that would be something which would be easier to do. Similarly, you could be somebody who has been assigned an experimental fluid mechanics problem, but after a few months you decide that it would have been better if you did a problem in computational fluid dynamics because you are more of a math and computing type of guy. So in these situations you may get stuck. Again, hopefully you are mature enough to have thought these things through at the bachelor's degree level, so you really want what you are getting into the PhD program. Now the next issue is that you may decide or you may think about going to a different university with a better rank. Maybe you want to go and do your PhD in a foreign country, and you suddenly realize that some of the master's degree students are actually using this time to improve their resume, give GRE or GMAT, and package themselves to do some further degrees. Maybe they want to do MBA degree, maybe they want to do PhD degree somewhere else, and so on. Now once you enter a university, you start becoming cognizant of certain things such as university ranking, the QS ranking, the Times ranking, and so on, and you will then start feeling that maybe you have missed out on this opportunity of going to a higher rank institution, because what often happens in a PhD is that rank of the institution starts mattering enormously, and in case of any selection committees for academic job, you will see that generally there is a bias towards people from higher ranked institutions. So this is something which is going to come to you. You may start thinking you could have applied for a PhD in Switzerland, a PhD in Germany, a PhD in US, a PhD in Canada, or a PhD in Japan, and maybe you would have been traveling in the bullet train from Tokyo to Kyoto instead of sitting in your lab in the current situation. So again, this is something you need to keep in mind. Finally, I would say the PhD advisor problem, and this can happen in many cases. If a direct PhD student is not sufficiently mature, they may have problems doing the PhD, they may have issues with the PhD advisor, which people have anyway, but what may happen is that you are making a huge jump from a course-based bachelor's degree student to a pure research-based PhD student. It is almost like going from class 9 and 10 or something like that to college straight away while skipping the 11th and 12th class. So you do not get that mental change which you get if you do a master's degree when you do a direct PhD degree. So you need to know how to do research. Hopefully you have a good supervisor, he can teach you about research and so on. You're not going to get any toy research problems which master's degree students typically get. You are going to get the big research problem which a PhD student gets, and so you are going to have some issues here. Now hopefully you can manage this with your PhD supervisor, and in some cases I would say that there is an exit strategy in these direct PhDs. You can get a master's degree and leave. So I would say do explore this before you join a direct PhD program. Is it possible to take a master's degree at the end of 2 years and leave the program in case you are not certain about doing the PhD? Because do remember that if you become a disgruntled student, then it may take you a very long time to do a PhD. So it is not uncommon for PhD students to get stuck in the universities for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or even 14 years for that matter. So unfortunately there are some cases like that, and so you do not want to become one of these special cases. So I'll end this video here, and I'll see you in a video sometime soon. If you have any comments about your negative experiences or positive experiences as a direct PhD student, please mention them in the comment section below, and I will see you in a video sometime soon. See you then. Bye.